Alright, let's start with the pop quiz. Who is the first woman monarch in India? If you answered Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai, try again. Although a solid percentage of randomly polled people said that answer. If you said Rani Mangammal or Rani Velu Naachiyaar, it still is not the right answer, but you certainly deserve an applause for knowing these terrific queens. If you answered Razia Sultana, I would disagree, although the topmost search results in Google for the above question points to her. If you said Rani Rudramma Devi, I am deeply impressed of your knowledge of the Kakatiyas and the Deccan Queens. We would do a podcast on her someday. She has a very interesting history too. But nevertheless, you have to try harder. Welcome to Masala History by Siva. We are celebrating International Women's Day this week, and let's do that by knowing a little more about India's first woman ruler. And to learn more about her, we will travel 1600 years back to the golden age of India, the times of the Gupta Empire. Samudragupta was possibly one of the most powerful emperors to have ruled in the Indian subcontinent. He shot the relatively unknown Gupta Empire to a powerful one by defeating over 21 kings, marching all the way from Patliputra, which is modern-day Patna, till Kanchipuram in the south. When Samudragupta was king, in addition to the Sakas, two of his neighboring powerful dynasties were the Naga dynasties, based in modern-day Madhya Pradesh, and the Vakataka Empire, located between Malwa and the Tungabhadra. It is widely believed that Samudragupta killed the last Naga king and ended their empires. The princess of the Naga Empire, Kubera Naga, was wedded to Samudragupta's son and the future emperor Chandragupta Vikramaditya. The queen Kubera Naga was a political arrangement. She also had a different language and customs compared to the other queens of Chandragupta. But the queen did not let that come in the way of her ambitions. By the time Chandragupta usurped power from his elder brother to become the Gupta emperor, Kubera Naga had become one of the chief queens. Born to her and Chandragupta is the answer to our question that we started the podcast with, the answer being Maharani Prabhavati Gupta. Prabhavati, just like her mother, was politically smart, and her actions transformed the fate of Deccan. Prabhavati was a brave, fearless girl who helped her father Chandragupta with resources and support in his final defeat of the Shakas of Gujarat. Until some historical seals were discovered a couple of years ago near Nagpur, Prabhavati Gupta's reign was largely underrated and forgotten. Prabhavati was married to Rudrasena II, who was the crown prince of the Vakataka dynasty. The Vakataka successors of the Satavahana dynasty were strong Shaivites, unlike the Guptas who followed Vaishnavism. One can understand the power of the newlywed princess by just realizing that she managed one of the first religious conversions in the subcontinent in those days. Prabhavati Gupta managed to influence her husband and the royal family of the Vakatakas to turn to Vaishnavites, just like her dad's family. She also convinced Rudrasena to continue the social, cultural, and religious policies borrowed from her home. He supported large-scale religious patronage across all religions and sects, very much like the Guptas. It is important to understand that Samudragupta had killed one of the ancestors of the Vakataka, King Rudrasena I, in the Battle of Kaushambi. So, in spite of Guptas and Vakatakas maintaining friendly relations and Queen Prabhavati marrying the Crown Prince Rudrasena, there was always a hidden mistrust and animosity against her. Her only political support came from her husband. She bore him 2 sons, and then fate struck. King Rudrasena II died at a very young age of 30 years, around 390 CE. Now Maharani Prabhavati had to fend for herself. She lost her only political ally in the kingdom, and her sons were very young children to assume kingship. That's when the politically astute Gupta princess made a bold call. She did something that was absolutely unthinkable for her times. She declared herself as the monarch of Vakataka dynasty and promised to rule as a regent until one of her sons was able to shoulder the empire. Maharani Prabhavati took the right decision to strengthen the ties of her empire with that of her fathers. She also moved her capital from Padmapura to Nandivardhana, which was at the foot of Ramgiri Hills near modern-day Nagpur. Prabhavati Gupta brought a reign of peace and harmony to the Vakataka Empire for 20 years. She built many temples, utilitarian buildings, etc. at Nandivardhana. The famous Rudra Simha and Kevala Narsimha were built under sponsorship, showcasing a very unique idea of the coexistence of multiple faiths within Hinduism. She had her sculptors experiment with new forms of iconography and had set up a workshop for the production of high-quality red sandstone sculptures. Maharani Prabhavati Gupta made it very clear that she wanted total peace with Guptas. She referred former Vakataka kings as Maharajas, but for the Guptas, like her father or grandfather, she referred to them as Maharajadirajas. She was running the Naga and the Gupta blood in herself and was the monarch of Vakataka, and her grand ambition perhaps was to create the most powerful empire India had ever seen, bringing the three houses together. This was, however, sadly not to be. Her elder son and heir apparent, Damodara Sena, died, and Prabhavati Gupta was blamed for the ill luck. The fact that she named her son after a Vaishnavite god was considered as a curse. Her second son, Divakara Sena, who would title himself as Pravara Sena II, hated the Gupta loyalty his mother had and felt it was shameful. As Prabhavati grew older and hit her late 60s, Pravara Sena became more independent. He shifted his capital from Nandivardhana to the newly constructed city of Pravarapura and converted himself back to Shaivism, just like his ancestors. Pravara Sena also gave up on Sanskrit, the language that the Gupta royalty used and considered as the language of gods. He spoke and had his inscriptions in Prakrit. In fact, Pravara Sena is considered as the most recorded ruler of ancient India after Asoka Maurya the Great. Prabhavati Gupta's story has largely been unknown. Possibly her inscriptions, seals, etc. were destroyed either naturally or possibly systematically by her own son, given that they didn't want to be seen as the Gupta tale. Thankfully, a couple of years back, seals were recovered from near Nagpur finally revealed how powerful she was and how she was indeed the first female monarch in India, at least as of what we know today. That's all for today, folks. Hope you had fun learning about a new ruler that possibly many of you have not found in your history textbook so far. Stay safe, socially distance, get vaccinated, and I will see you soon with yet another interesting Masala History. Take care. Bye-bye.